What's up, guys and girls? This is James at Lock in the Valley and copymycrypto.com talking to you today about the wonderful world of crypto. But I will say this, it doesn't feel overly wonderful today. As I said in the last few days, today was likely to be a bloody rough day with all the contracts coming to a close today. And Bitcoin is suffering right now. It's at around 32.9. But with the dip down from around 34.6, it's looking pretty bad. But compounded by the amount of sort of negative news stories that have come out today. And that's unfortunately the situation that we're in at the moment, is that news stories flip so fast, so bloody fast. Because yesterday there was so much bullish news. It didn't mean crypto was in bullish territory, where the market sentiment right now is bearish, but it doesn't necessarily mean we're out of a bull market. And the news yesterday was bullish, today definitely bearish, and the market sentiment is reflecting that. If you really look at the charts are absolutely getting destroyed. So I'm going to get into that in a second. As always, these are the first 26 coins I spoke about on the channel that I thought would crush it in the bull cycle. We invested $100 into each one at the time I did the recording. She'd be up 15 grand from a $2,600 investment. Bear in mind, literally a month and a half ago, this was up to 55. And if and when we do return to the bull cycle, those gains will be far greater. I'm not in most of these now. I'm in the coins that I'm in, I share on Copy My Crypto, and some of them are set to do some staggering runs over the coming bull cycle, and some of them are phenomenal long-term investments for 4 years down the line. If you're new to crypto, this is absolutely perfect for you. The growth that these coins are going to see is going to change lives, no doubt about it. So if you want that opportunity, check out Copy My Crypto. Link is in the description. All right, guys, let's look at the charts. There is no getting away from it. It's pretty brutal. At the point of the highest point of the day, we're around 35,600, and we have capitulated with actually a drop to 32,500. So sort of how the ground holds here is going to be important. But momentum is still going down. And while we've got buy signals, I'm not convinced. I think with the amount of options contracts coming to a close, I think Bitcoin itself could drop down to 28,000. That's sort of a 29,000 has been a trigger point, so 29,000 probably. But what is concerning, I suppose, is the fact that if you search Bitcoin now, within the last 24 hours, every story is about the scam, which I spoke about previously yesterday. But now every news outlet has picked up the story, so it starts bombarding that same FUD. I spoke about, in fact, I'm pretty sure I spoke about this 2 days ago. But yeah, everyone's picked it up now. Every news outlet. So that's the big story going along. Forbes have also published a few negative stories in the last 24 hours. But you expect that from Forbes. We've seen it constantly. I've always said I've never been a fan of Forbes at all. But yeah, the real takeaway from the article is that governments are not going to allow non-sovereign forms of money to continue to proliferate. As in, global governments are not going to allow Bitcoin as a legal tender, which is a concern that was raised with regards to El Salvador's future with Bitcoin. God willing, that goes through. That can still go through, but looks unlikely. The more that we're seeing global governments affect every single country. So So the digital dollar is almost certainly an inevitability. And we'll see how it plays out with regards to stuff like Bitcoin, etc. It's not that they can stop Bitcoin, but they can stop it from, or certainly financial institutions. You've got the IMF and all of them. They're gonna work hard to stop Bitcoin as a legal tender payment because it's too fluctuating. But realistically, it just takes away from it's taking away government control, and they don't want it. And that's why I've always been bullish on cryptos. You don't want your government in your back pocket every day. You don't want them in your face every day, and crypto allows that opportunity. So Forbes published that, but like I say, most of it is almost all of it has been focused around either the scam or Bitcoin's future being determined by China. Although I think, me personally, I think that's absolute nonsense. And the other one is JP Morgan's issuing a serious warning, saying that the Bitcoin price they believe will drop down to around 25 grand. So it would still take prices decline to the $25,000 level before long-term momentum would signal capitulation. So giving Bitcoin a fair value between 23,000 and 35,000 over the medium term. And JP Morgan, to be fair, has given a theoretical target of around 140 grand. But we will see how it plays out. I mean, I think anyone that's been in the market, we know that there's going to be another correction to some degree. I've been speaking about that for a long time, saying, I do as much as I expect the market to recover, because there's too many things still to happen in this bull cycle. Ethereum 2.0, the Polkadot ecosystem, the parachain's really starting to kick off. I know the Kusama's begun. The Cardano smart contracts, there's too much still to happen for there to be an end to a bull cycle. Combine that with the fact there's never been a blow-off top. There's never been a blow-off top. Even when you look at the heat maps in terms of investment, it never even reached red or orange in this bull cycle. Previously in 2013, 2017, they did before there was the collapse. And then the inevitable recovery. It doesn't matter if it's a collapse, it's going to recover. But right now, I wouldn't be necessarily jumping into an investment until an opportunity presents itself. But yeah, the negatives are fairly prevalent today, and it's what was expected with the options contracts and future contracts coming out or like closing today. It was going to happen that there was going to be a price dip. We'll see how low the dip goes, but at the moment, yeah, I don't think there's enough to justify a buy signal for me. And I wouldn't even short the market at this point because it's so unpredictable right now. With the contracts closing, bears could continue getting some momentum before starting a new options or future contract. Bulls could really take over if they want to really start pushing the price higher. So there's too much at risk today. So I'd keep out of the game for today. But that being said, obviously there was tons of positive news coming out about New York yesterday, Bitcoin, New York and being the hub of Bitcoin, Germany introducing sort of hedge funds being able to utilize 20% of their portfolio for crypto, Brazil, ETF, Dubai entering the Bitcoin space. There's just been tons of bullish info in the past, couple of weeks really, especially with El Salvador and everything like that. But it's just at the moment the bearish news is the one that's hitting the mainstream media far quicker and faster. and part of that's manipulation. Part of that is market sentiment at the moment. The fear index is very, very low. We're in significant fear territory, so we've got to see how it plays out. Excuse me. Today, I do still expect around a close around the 29,000 mark, or over the weekend at least. But yeah, the weekend we've tended to see bearish momentum on the weekends, apart from the last weekend, I think. But yeah, I'd be waiting to see how everything closes today before I make any moves. And if you want to know the moves I'll make, then check out Copy My Crypto. That's where I tell people what I'm going to be doing. But at the moment, I am not doing much, and I haven't touched much for the last week or so, or certainly the last week and a half, because I'm happy with my positions, and I don't necessarily think there's opportunities right now. I think there's going to be still a significant correction. And JP Morgan talking about 25 grand. That's probably quite reasonable in terms of the correction that's coming. Nothing to fear, because crypto is long-term investments as well as short-term. Yes, you want to make huge gains in a year, but long-term it should change the world, and it should change and we hope, and it still should change the financial circumstances of the world, and that's what we want. So I always think long-term in that regard. But yeah, you want to see what I'm holding, check out Copy My Crypto. I hope you're all having a wonderful day, apart from looking at the charts. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.